Red button means we're live, a casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to give a take off my chest. So the most exciting offseason of all time, according to Shams, has just been a total letdown. Its leading story is Johnathan Kuminga remaining unsigned in Golden State. But we got an update. We got an update yesterday from the Warriors guy at ESPN, Anthony Slater. He said this, report, Johnathan Kuminga is willing to sign with the Warriors offer and, quote, buy into mission of getting Steph Curry another title if they convert the team option to the player option. Now, because it seems like the whole thing backing it up is the player versus team option, but I want to revisit this quote. Okay, buy into mission of getting Steph Curry another title. That's cute. But he can't be talking about the same Steph Curry Warriors that I'm thinking of, right? Because if he is, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but this Warriors team has no shot of winning the title. No shot. I'll give him a 0.1% chance just out of respect of Steph Curry's greatness. But this team's days of competing for championships are long gone. Like, have you seen this roster? I want to remind everyone, it is September 17th today. Season tips off in a month. They've made zero moves. Zero. They've added no new talent. And given how much money they're playing to their top two guys at this point in the offseason, I don't know how you get better. What do you think? Al Horford's going to move the needle? Old Al Horford? This is a G League team behind Steph, Jimmy, and Dre. And speaking of them, this big three, they're all 35 plus. And I just saw the postseason last year. How much juice do they have left? Not much. Now, their wild card is the young and athletic Johnathan Kuminga. And if they sign him, but weirdly enough, he's at his best with Steph out the lineup. So I think essentially they're running back the same team that lost in 5 games in the second round last year. But Steph Curry was hurt. Yes, he was. But they weren't beating Minnesota anyways, right? Like, it took them 7 games to take care of a Jalen Green-led squad in the playoffs. And if they were to beat Minnesota, they're going to get clobbered by OKC, a team that they got to go through in the West. So I took a look at the roster this morning. Man, this screams play-in team. Like, they didn't get any younger, bigger inside, or less Steph Curry reliant. This team, honestly, is going to have a very, very hard time of just getting to the playoffs, right? Like, right now, I got them chalked up as like the 8th seed. I think they're 7th seed at best, 9th, 10th seed at worst, but I think they finished as the 8th seed. They finished as the 7th seed last year after their hot start. Now, I know Jimmy Butler came in, saved the day. They won a bunch of games. Felt like they didn't lose with Butler and Steph in the lineup. But we saw the playoffs last year again. Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, he comes out once every other 4 games. So how many wins does he have to bring in the regular season? Not many. And again, when you look past this roster, it's just not that good. There are just so many teams in the brutal West just better. In fact, I went down it. I counted 7 teams I think are definitively better in the Western Conference than the Warriors. Like 7 teams who I'd say if they matched up home or away, I'm taking them in a postseason matchup. That being, of course, OKC, the defending champs. Denver with the best player in the world who built a better team around him. Of course, Minnesota with Anthony Edwards. Houston now with Kevin Durant, not Jalen Green. The Clippers, yes, I know the Steve Ballmer, Pablo Torres situation, but their roster is just better than Golden State's. The Lakers with a full season of Slim, Luka, and possibly a Wiggins trade. And I'll throw this team in here. The Dallas Mavericks. I think with their size, their bench, you get Kyrie healthy, they are better roster than Golden State. And if you look at ESPN Bet, this is not an ad, but ESPN Bet agrees with me. The only team they disagree is Dallas, but that's, of course, because Kyrie is going to be out till at least January. But if you can bring Kyrie back into the flag AD, D'Lo, Gafford lineup, it's a better roster than Golden State. I take them in a matchup quickly. So it just seems like the Warriors' remaining offseason plan is to not trade Kuminga because they declined a sign and trade, but to bring him back onto this team on a 1-year deal with a team option, just in case if they want to let him go next offseason. And once they sign him, open the floodgates for Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Seth Curry, a bunch of vet minimum guys? Those aren't needle movers. It's a shame the roster that Golden State is building around the final days of Steph Curry, because this roster is Steph Curry, drop off to Jimmy Butler, and then it's a far greater drop off to Draymond Green. And once you look past Draymond Green, add Kuminga in there, it is a G League team. They look like the Mad Ants, G League Ignite, Pods, Santos. this team is not competing for a title. Unless they somehow pull off the most major trade ever and get another high-quality player, this team is just too top-heavy. And then when they're going to go in the West against significantly better rosters, I honestly think that this is just going to be another year where they're not going to be a non-play-in playoff team. They're going to have to come out the play-in, and it's going to be tough for them because the West got even better this season, and Golden State is the only team in the league that neither got better or worse. And considering how they ended up last year, they definitely needed to get better. But let me know what you guys think about Golden State. I appreciate everyone for tuning in this episode of A Casual Take. Follow me on Twitter at StephenPepper38. Until next time, see you.